Go.
We should have music too.
What form of music?
I don't care, anything.
Well, I'm pretty sure with some video editing programs we could add some music into the background.
What I'm doing right now is blocking out where my images are going to go, okay?
What color are you using?
This is like a sienna. It's just a brown color, sienna, raw sienna, or burnt sienna. Any of these colors would work. When colors are a little dry. So one of the things that I'm just doing right now is just blocking in an area so I can paint, so I know where my borders are at, or back. Now, part of the exaggeration is you have the freedom to give her a thinner waist, more of a hindquarter.
If you're making already.
I'm just kind of, I'm just blocking stuff out, and there's an oval here. Also, by the way, I'm using a really smooth brush. So this brush has a certain edge, and really this is more like a watercolor that I'm doing. So here's my spotlight. The light comes. I'm going to come in with the light this way. There's a couple of spotlights, but you can see them in the background. And then that has nice compositions. There's a spotlight coming down on her like so, and then there's a spotlight like this. So now, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to start. I had a purple here, but I'm going to make one. Anyway. One of the things about painting is you guys constantly have to paint to get the movement and the feel of stuff. You constantly have to paint at least.
Courtesy of Randolph Air Force Base.
So here I'm going to just, I'm using a bristle brush at this point. I'll talk to you about, of course, the bristle brush is now normally I've been telling most of you guys to block stuff out. This is one way. Now I drew everything earlier. Drawing is something different, but now this is blocking. It's I'm using a little bit of thinner, and I want to really create contrast. Oops. Almost lost the brush. And a lot of this is just like climbing the stairs. First you take the first step and then the second step. You really don't you really don't, if you don't do this, I find this the easiest way. I mean, you guys can figure out whatever works for you. This to me works out the best. I mean, if you're really going to do something that's really quick and fun, and it has, you know, some value to it, this is the one that I see the easiest. Now this is actually the technique that I use in live painting, which this technique is the one that I use in live painting. So, and so I immediately can see, and you guys can see, that there's a figure there. Now, I use, if you use turpentine has a strong smell to it. You can buy, I think they have now odorless turpentine. I really don't know what it really means when they say odorless. It still has a slight smell. Well, I know what it means, but it doesn't, I don't know what it means to the paint, like if it's any better. I do know that if you use real turpentine, the real turpentine really dries really quickly. So now, here, I'm going to use this now. I'm going to draw my inside area, shadows. I think we're going to start filming at nighttime. Nobody disturbs us.
Well, it's not like they're running in front of the camera, though.
No, I know, but you need to hear kitty, kitty, kitty. Now this is the undertone. Now, you know, this is really just, this is really thin. This is, hopefully by the time I get to it, this just evaporates a little bit. Now I've actually done this in a contest already. This specific painting, this image, and it was really successful. We had an hour and a half to finish it, and I have some photographs of that. Alright, so here's this right here, like so, right? Okay. You can put a little bit of color. Now the thing about it is that in flesh tone is really pure, and you really need to keep that color clean. If you, and a lot of this needs to be red. That red will connect with this dark color. Flesh tone's a little different. You really got to be careful with that. Now, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start making flesh tones. And what I'm going to do is work on two sets, because I have a lot of work right now. So we're going to work on a couple of sessions, and I'm only going to work for about 30 minutes and then come back and continue. So we should have been here earlier working, but somebody didn't show up at 8 o'clock. They won't mention who that is. So now I'm going to start blocking with color. Now, one of the things that I'm doing right now is just looking at color, guys. I'm seeing where the color is, and I'm really just more concerned about laying brush strokes. Now, when I'm laying these brush strokes, I'm laying the just really laying. Sorry, I lost track. But I'm just really laying things that I see. And color is funny because most of you guys don't. It's going to take you time. you just don't get in there and start throwing color. Most of you guys will just sit there, just grab a color and throw it in there and just, it's really making that color before you throw it. Like if you guys look right here, this is white and this is more like a white yellow and this is more of a peach red maroon. And so now I'm going to make this color right here like so, and here I'm going to change that color like that, boom. I'm not saying her arm looks like she looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I can figure it out, clean that up later. Same thing here. Color is really where most of you really don't look at stuff. And that's one of the things that's going to take you time. That's why I think practice becomes really important, because without practice, without practice, you guys don't see the color or get used to looking at the color. And if you guys can get used to seeing color constantly and trying to study it, you guys will start, start becoming more efficient. That requires practice, and that requires you learning. Now, I'm jumping around right now because there's a moment where your brain clicks and you're there, you're painting, you're really in what we call the zone. Right now, all I'm doing is blocking things out and working through things I see. Now, I'm bouncing back and forth now here. If I had another camera, I'd show you where I'm working with. I have alizarin crimson, and I'm using a tad bit of red because of the dress. And this is a rich color. She's got a big mama caboose.
I've seen bigger.
Yeah. So I'm just dropping this right here. So now I have a medium that I use, and it gives me some really nice flow to it. And this is, I've dulled the color here. Using white sometimes dulls the color just a little bit. So now, what happens now is that as you're layering color, I gotta figure out how to get this stuck. When you're doing these light painting stuff, you normally don't have that much time to really hold this, but anyway. So now I'm gonna get a little darker. I'm gonna come into the darker. I'm going to get brown. This is more of, here's the